Desde la cabina más importante de Long Island, en New York, infórmate de lo que pasa en tu barrio. En 3, 2, 1, arrancamos. Anthony from the Neighborhood en Latino Mix. Dale play a tu bocina.
Y aquí estamos, señores, sábado a las 11 de la mañana, nuestro nuevo horario, y lo estamos pasando muy bien con esta hora del día. Sábado es un preferido para mí, porque ya se acabó la semana y podemos gozar. So the week is over. We're here to have a good time. It's Saturday, 11 o'clock. I love this new time. We are having a blast, and we've had amazing guests that have been coming from all over the place, talking about their neighborhood, their journey, their accomplishments, and so much more. Now, I want to make sure we can stay in touch. Vamos a estar en contacto uno al otro. Vamos a seguir por la página de Latino Mix con 2x.com. También por el Instagram de Latino Mix, and also mine at From the Neighborhood. So Instagram, Facebook, and anything you look up From the Neighborhood, your boy's gonna be there. And a cool thing that I just found out with this little flyer right here, if you guys are looking at us online, we got video on latinomix.com, and you can see what's happening in the studio. So I got this flyer on my desk, and this flyer is pretty cool because it tells me you could download pictures to your phone. And what's happening is Latino Mix is hitting the streets. Nosotros estamos en las calles, estamos en los eventos, aquí pasando en Long Island, por todo Nueva York, y estamos tomando fotos de los buenos tiempos que estamos pasando con la gente. So we're taking pictures of the good times with people in the neighborhood and basically putting them up to the website so you can go ahead and download it. We've got professional photographers that are hitting all of these events and capturing the moment, the excitement, all the people that are there and the memories that were made, and basically putting it on the website. So again, another reason to go to Latino Mix with 2x's.com. And don't forget to also download the app, Latino Mix, again with 2x's, on the Google Play Store or the App Store. You can download it and find ways to reach out to us, request your favorite songs, find out what's going on, register for things as well, because we've given out tons of prizes. So make sure to go ahead and connect with us because we are here at this great station, Latino Mix, and this is your favorite show, From the Neighborhood. So I'm gonna kick it off because we need energy today. That was a lot that I threw at you, and I'm gonna kick it off with this favorite song of mine, Pump It Up. Let's go.
No te muevas, regresamos en tan solo minuto. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
Yeah, pump it up. Y así mismo estamos aquí nosotros con mucha energía aquí en el estudio con una buena canción para ponerle a ustedes bien animado. And that song, Pump Up the Jam, Technotronic back in 1989. Guys, this was the jam. I remember I used to like pump my music and just like bounce around with the Sony Walkman, the big yellow headphones. I mean, hey, listen, I had the one that you could throw in the water and it can like go 10 feet below water and it's still working. Right, my cassette's still going around with my AA batteries. So, lo que se recuerdan de eso, se recordaban lo que le llaman el Walkman, y ese era con 2 baterías AA, y uno andaba por todo lugar. Y esta canción, 1989, es una de las canciones que ustedes seguro hubieran escuchado. So, another reason for you guys to go ahead and check us out on the website, latinomix.com, is that you'll be able to hear this cool music. We got the audio files right below the videos, and you'll be able to scroll through the page and listen through the whole thing. So make sure to be part of the community, be part of the neighborhood. That's basically what I'm saying. And get on Latino Mix and take full advantage to listen to all the shows on demand. So I got a great guest, by the way. 2. I got to double it up. All right, it's like double mint gum. I get 2. It's a special today because, you know, we all came from somebody, a woman, a mom, right? We've all had this person in our life. And it might have been a mom who just took that position in your life, or it might have been someone else who, you know, maybe she was your favorite aunt and you just felt like, hey, she's more like my mom. Maybe you just connected with her. Well, I got 2 special guests, 2 Latinas that are going to talk to us today about so much. And I can't wait to bring them on. So with this, I'm going to call on all of my Latinos. Todos mis latinos que están allá afuera, los voy a llamar para que escuchen y se inspiren con estas 2 personas que yo voy a tener en el programa, porque estas son personas ejemplar y son personas que en realidad merecen nuestro tiempo de escucharlo para que aprendemos y así mismo podemos nosotros crecer. So I have a song, throwback. It's called Boricua Anthem, and it's like the calling to all Latinos to come out and have a good time, because that's what we're going to do. So let's go and do it.
No te muevas. Regresamos en tan solo minutos. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
Yes. And we are back after such an alarming song. Oh my gosh. Every Latino woke up ¿Están despiertos, mi gente? Sábado aquí a las 11 de la mañana. Ya usted sabe que se va a encontrar un buen programa. Y aquí tengo yo mis dos invitadas. I'm so happy to have you guys here. So if you're watching online, to my left, I've got Francine. And to my right, I've got Gabriela. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much
for having us.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Well, I'm glad to have you guys both on the show. And you guys have a great story. And, I seek out people like this in different communities, whether it's the business community, whether it's, beauty or fashion or just like a neighborhood in terms of a zip code. I seek them out and I want them to come on the show and tell their story. Mm-hmm. You guys got a great story. So, ustedes tienen una bonita historia y como le digo, siempre estoy buscando personas que nos pueden compartir y inspirar a la gente y para que así conocemos quién es nuestro vecino. So, I'm going to start off on my right side and I'm going to go to my left. So, Gabriela, let's first say what it is that you do for a living, and then we're going to figure out how is it that you got there.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a financial planning practice. I talk to people about their personal, professional, financial goals. On the risk side, so we talk to people about life insurance and disability insurance. We also talk to people about the wealth management side. So we talk to people about retirement planning, investing, all the fun financial stuff.
Wow. Well, you read off a whole financial dictionary, and I got Francine over here on my left, and you guys are partners. You guys work together.
Yes, we are. We're a duo. And, I think the power comes in numbers and really creating that change and for people to really see themselves in what we're doing. I think that's really, really powerful. But I do have to say, I appreciate what you're doing because I think you're bringing a lot of awareness to the community. Seriously.
Thank you.
I think that you have to give the accolades what they're deserved. And you are, putting that out there. And I think that's important.
Well, I appreciate it. The microphone can't pick up my blushing, but you guys can see it on video. And it's hard, right? Because even trying to locate those people in your community that are really making an impact, it's tough. But I wanted people to understand that, you're not just born into these positions. One of the things I talk about is that, like how I got here, for example, onto this station. You fool around with things as a kid and other things inspire you in life, but then you don't realize, these things all lead up to something in life, right? So, señores, nosotros estamos hablando de cómo uno va escalando en la vida y las cosas van cambiando en su vida. Y estas dos personas trabajan en finanzas. Y no estoy hablando de hipotecas ni nada así. Ellos trabajan en lo que es los planes de tu vida. O sea, cuando tú tienes un gran evento o pasa a otra etapa. Y no solamente vamos a hablar de finanzas, pero cómo es que ellos llegaron allá. Y por qué llegaron a este programa es una razón muy fascinante. It's very, very interesting. You guys really got to listen in because we're not born, like I said, automatically into positions. And you guys have a great story of how you got started. So I'm going to start off with you, Gabriela, over here on my right. So I want you guys to watch the video. They're beautiful. So, Gabriela, if you're starting off in finance, you don't just start the first day. So where did you get your start? How did you get into the workforce?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I had a really fortunate upbringing. Both my parents are here from Ecuador. Right? They're business owners. They've had a business in Bayshore Furniture and Mattress for 36 years. And I remember going to the store after school, right, and just seeing the work ethic of my parents. And so I really attribute my work ethic to them, right?
Wow.
They really taught me so much. And no, I certainly didn't wake up one day and say, hey, I'm going to become a financial advisor, right? That was something that I didn't realize I wanted to really learn more about. But I went to school. I went and studied in Washington, D.C. I ended up studying at the University of Maryland also and started learning a little bit more and more about it. But I was in a totally different field, right? I was actually a career changer. I ended up moving back to New York and I started working for a marketing company. And I was there for 6 months. And the company filed for bankruptcy within 6 months of me starting, right? I had nothing to do with that.
What you studied, right?
It's what I studied.
So talk about a shift in somebody's life. But I want to go back to the point where you said your family had a furniture store, right? So they got here and they were like, hey, I got to become a business owner. And I'm assuming, they found an opportunity. They probably didn't study to sell furniture or how to get it, right? To put it up on display and actually sell it and make a profit. These are challenges that people face all the time. And I think that when folks kind of speak with you, they also get intimidated. They're like, oh, well, I don't have my finances in order and so forth. But look at where you've gotten, right, with what your parents have done. And now you get into marketing and the whole thing switches on you, right?
Whole thing switched. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think going back to, my parents didn't study to be business owners, right? And these were all, I love sitting down and hearing stories. And I think it's so important for us to talk to our families, talk to our parents, right? How did they start? Where did they learn all these things, right? But no, I didn't just all of a sudden fall into this career. It was something that I learned a little bit more about. This company I was working for filed for bankruptcy, and I was out of a job, right, from one day to the next. And I realized, I want to do something different. I really want to make make a career impact on other people. I want to be able to help people talk about their finances. Want them to feel comfortable about it. It's an uncomfortable topic.
It is, and you're working. You're out there. Your parents, they're grinding. They're working hard, right? They're trying to establish themselves.
Exactly.
You get into the workforce and school and so forth that they put you through, and now you're also out there. But now all of a sudden, the rug gets pulled out from under you, and you're out of a job. So now I'm going to switch over to Francine. Francine, give us your background and how you got here, porque la historia de ella fue muy interesante. Les voy a dar un repaso. Padres ecuatorianos abrieron una tienda de mueblería y después le ayudaron a ella a pasar por todo lo de escuela y ella consiguió su trabajo y la compañía quebró. So ahí le dejo la historia de Gabriela, pero Francine, tell me a little bit about how you got started and like why this became a career choice.
Well, for me, I come from Costa Rica, right? I was born there, and super transparent, dirt floor in an outhouse. And I saw my mom, and it's interesting because I
remember outhouse and dirt floors in Dominican Republic. So ella es de Costa Rica. I'm from the Dominican Republic, or at least my parents are, right? Yeah. And like you were born here, right? So you're from Ecuador. Your parents are from Ecuador. So we're first generation, and you were actually born in Costa Rica.
I was born in Costa Rica.
So you're the real deal.
Listen.
I got it in the summertime.
I am the real, I don't want to say it like that, but I do have that experience of being in a country that, a beautiful country, but lacked a lot of things. And then, my grandmother was an angel, and she made a lot of sacrifices to bring us here. And, and then we were able to come here and have the opportunity to live a better, or have the opportunity to create a better life for ourselves. So, I saw my mother struggling. She was, cleaning houses and doing every little thing that she could do. Unfortunately, we had to go through, getting help from the government and having to go to the church and getting clothes and food. So I saw.
Ustedes dependían en el pueblo para la caridad, programas del gobierno para suplementarlos.
Exacto, sí.
So this is interesting, guys.
Yeah.
We're talking to someone who's a financial advisor, and they were at one time looking for food stamps, welfare, and charity from whatever it was, the church or nonprofits, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
And para mí no fue una mala experiencia, right? Because we had all that my mother could provide, and even in the bathtub was our pool. We didn't have those things that were available to a lot of the kids, but to me that just gave me more drive of qué es lo que tengo que hacer para poder ayudar a my mom, my sisters. I'm one of 5. And also how to make an impact eventually in the future, right? And I've been very blessed. I've had a lot of angels along the way that have helped and guided and be that person that I've come to.
Yeah.
And at 18 years old, I have a best friend of mine who's like, listen, you need to, tú quieres comprar una casa a tu mami, like you have to invest, and I was like, invest, life insurance, and all these things. And
someone opened your mind about it.
Yeah, and it was like, all right.
Now you found this person in in the physical world, like you ran into somebody literally, but we're talking to people who are on the radio right now who are like, hey, I just turned it on. I wanted to hear cool music, Pump the Jam. I love that song. Yeah. Boricua Anthem, let's go, mi gente. But then they hear this and they're like, wait a second, and it might just spark something. So you ladies here are definitely going to inspire people to, maybe not stop grinding, right? Because your parents are working hard, your parents are working. Maybe they're not going to stop grinding, but they're going to definitely grind in a smarter way. Yeah. And I think that's really what we're here for. And when we talk about this show, I mean, we're talking about neighborhood people.
Yep.
Gentes regulares aquí en el programa que están sobresaliendo y cumpliendo cosas que son buenas para la comunidad. So thank you guys. And I'm going to go to a quick break because, we got to ease off a little bit. All the hard work you've been talking about, man, you guys are grinding hard. So let's go to a quick break. Let's do it.
No te muevas. Regresamos en tan solo minutos. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
Yes, that's the Clips, Grinding. Man, could you believe that song is 20 years old? Esa canción lleva 20 años desde que salió la canción. Y fue una canción que todo el mundo estaba escuchando. Grinding quiere decir como trabajando duro, working hard, right? Grinding is like really the hustle, really trying to figure it out in life. And, we just spoke to these two ladies. Hablamos con estas dos señoras que están diciendo cómo sus padres tuvieron que lograr o trabajaron para que ellas pudieran lograr sus sueños. So nosotros tenemos que coger un poquito de inspiración. We have to take a little inspiration from this and a little guidance. We're listening to folks who are basically your neighbor, right? We're not getting somebody who seems like they're so far living into the stratosphere that you can't attain what they've done. We're talking about folks who have had very similar struggles to you, but have somehow turned away and said, you know what? I'm going to make something different out of it. And your parents are examples of it. They could have come here and they could have said, you know what, I give up. I'm in this country, I don't speak English, no sé el idioma, yo me rindo, no sé qué voy a hacer. Pero pensando de que aquí hay oportunidad, siguieron adelante. So now my question to you ladies is, when you are doing what you're doing, you know, what inspires you to say, let me wake up the next day, let me research the market, or let me research this product, let me help this family? So what triggers it? And you guys can jump in at any point in time, because I know this kind of thing will spark something in you.
Yeah.
So whatever really makes you feel and tick,
Yeah.
you know, let me know.
I mean, for us, really, one of the things that we finish off every week really is, you know, how many people have we impacted? How many families have we helped this week? It's not about numbers at all. At the end of the day, it's that family that needs that support, that guidance. And, you know, we've lived through experiences in our own lives that gives us a lot of conviction and making sure that this information is out there. Because, again, we're underserved in terms of education and what's out there. So we want to be able to be that resource where people can come to and feel like they can speak to us, and we're attainable, and you know, and it's a blessing that we can give that information.
And I think for the Latino population, we have like millions and millions of us who, you know, in our country maybe don't have these sort of products, or this conversation isn't even had.
Yeah.
So nosotros estamos hablando de conversaciones que tal vez usted nunca se ha imaginado que existen. So it's like you don't know what you don't know, right? So you can't say, for example, I have an opinion on something, or I've lived through this, because you don't even know that exists. And that's how far some of these things can seem to people, right?
Yeah, and a lot of times, unfortunately, it's a taboo conversation, right? Nobody wants to talk about it. It's uncomfortable. It's not easy. But what we like to give people is just a clarity that comes with that. You know those options, right? You know what's there and what's available. Or we hope that you have that after you have a conversation. And then, you know, how do we serve you? How do we help you? And then, of course, by you having that information, how do you now impact the community?
Now tell me, you got your start not in finance. You started somewhere else. You said you witnessed something. What was this? What that propelled you here?
Well, one thing in the beginning was, like I said, I was exposed to my friend who got me into the finance world. And he's like, well, if you want to do these things, you got to do A, B, C, and D. And I was 18 years old, and I did all those things. And I was able to purchase a home and help my mother in the interim. But now the conviction that comes with that is, unfortunately, we lost my stepfather last year. To cancer, and he didn't have anything. He didn't have anything implemented. So
this was a personal experience. Fue una experiencia personal, donde usted perdió un familiar y se encontró en un punto donde nadie sabía qué hacer. No dejaron nada atrás.
No.
O sea, los problemas se quedan, señores. Piénsenlo bien.
Sí.
En esa cajita no cabe nada más que tu cuerpo. Todos los líos, los problemas, lo que tú has cumplido, bueno o malo. Se queda aquí para que los otros lo puedan resolver. So, tú pasaste por una experiencia así. You went through a personal experience.
Personalmente, como te dije, my stepfather, él perdió su vida, you know, desafortunadamente, pero le quedó a mí, a mi mamá y a mi familia, a mis hermanas, tener financially support y ayudar a esa situación. Gabriela estuvo ahí conmigo.
Sí, de manera financiera tuviste que apoyarlos a ellos.
Sí, y fue una experiencia muy terrible. Tener que hacer una decisión de dónde tú quieres que tu familiar vaya.
¿Y ya tú habías comenzado en esto de finanzas o en ese punto?
Sí, ya estaba en eso. Eso me dio más convicción ahora para realmente darle la educación a las personas a lo que hay y lo que es posible, para que no tengan que pasar por eso.
Well, it's amazing. So she goes through this personal experience, and then this triggers her to say, hey, you know what? I want to get into this business. And I studied, I passed the test. But I mean, come on, guys, seriously. Like, you could walk around with, I don't know how many doctorates or master degrees. Yeah. But what are you doing to impact your community? What is making a change in people's lives? And we're talking about your own personal experience where you're like, oh my gosh, I studied and I have the tools to have resolved whatever problem my family's having right now with this lost one. So, Gabriela, did you have that kind of impact in your situation?
Yeah, and unfortunately we did. Not long after I had started in this career, we tragically lost someone in our family, and it was something that was sudden, right? And it just brought to light how much we need to have these conversations, right? It impacts our families in ways that we can't even imagine. And so our conviction now and our passion comes from just having these conversations, right? Really learning what's available to people, and how do we just educate one another? Because the better we all do, right, the more that we can help one another.
Of course, no, and listen, and you know what? It doesn't have to get tragic and dreary, right?
Not at all.
But you know, at the end of the day, life has a way of teaching you lessons.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, the ones who are not going through such a thing, you know, are fortunate enough to hear this and discover a different career, right? Discover another possibility, right, of life after death. So of a thing of inspiration, because you're both beautiful ladies, right? And a lot of times girls get intimidated getting into finance, getting into tech. Those are kind of fields that you see there's a minority of women among minorities already which are existing, right? So cuando tú tienes esa minoría de mujeres participando, yo pienso como que la industria pierde un poquito de sabor, pierde un aspecto. So what can you say to women so we don't lose that aspect, that flavor that women bring into the workplace? What could you say to them so they get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the funny thing is when I first started, I didn't realize that there was so heavily, populated with men in this career, right? And I walked into my first meeting and it was me and 25 men in a conference room. And I was like, oh my gosh, what an opportunity, right?
It's raining men.
Right? But what an opportunity, right, to speak to women about finance and really just understand. And we have a different kind of conversation, right? There's a trust that we can have, a relationship that we build. And Francine and I are so passionate about just building these relationships, right? Because we've gone to baby showers, and we've gone to weddings, and we
women are super social, right?
Like we love being part of the family, right? We want to be part of the family. So we love just building these relationships. And I think there's such an opportunity for women to learn more about this career too.
Wow. Yeah. No, listen, and I think it's time for things to be debunked, right? And basically like just allow for everyone to participate, right? So this is a big thing. So your words of inspiration for women who are listening out there.
Super honest, know your gift. This is something that my beautiful partner over
there. So for them to be super honest and know their gift?
I'm being super honest and just really capitalize on your gifts, whatever that gift is, and let there be purpose behind what you're doing. But it doesn't matter what it is. And that's for us, that's how we come into our practice, and what we do is we have true purpose to what we're doing. There's a bigger picture. It's beyond us at this point. It's more what change are we creating?
I know it's beyond you guys because don't let the cat out the bag, all right? Please let me do my job here. But you guys are up to some pretty big things.
Big things.
But I love the words that you used. It's your gift. Put it out there. And the reality is listen, if you're born with it, then why not use it, right?
Yeah.
I think that's amazing. I think you'll be honestly cheating yourself. Yeah. Is that safe to say?
Yeah. I think Francine always says it, right? You have to be that light for somebody else, right?
Be that light.
Yeah, be that light for someone else because you never know the conversation that you're going to have and how it's going to impact somebody.
No, I love it. I love it. As a matter of fact, that's the way I like it. How about that? Because I'm going to go to a quick break here with a quick song from the KC Sunshine Band. That's the way I like it. Let's go.
No te muevas. Regresamos en tan solo minuto. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
Bienvenidos, señores. Welcome back to the show. And this is your show from the neighborhood. If you just tuned in, make sure to check us out on LatinoMixWith2X's.com and go ahead and check out the videos. We're going to be uploading them right after this. And there's also a whole bunch of other episodes which you guys can tune into. They're on demand, so make sure to become part of the Latino Mix family. So, señores, bienvenidos. Aquí estamos con las dos invitadas que tengo yo hoy, hablando de finanzas, hablando de mucho más. Porque en realidad no es tanto el dinero o el número, es la experiencia y el punto de que tú llegas a un punto de tu vida y tú dices, no, ¿sabes qué? Yo quiero hacer esto con mi vida. And Gabriela, you walk into a room, 25 guys. Yeah. You're all by yourself. And you're like, with your big bright smile, I love it. I'm sure you captivated the room and they're like, oh, what just happened? It's not the boys club anymore.
It is not.
You left us with some beautiful words of inspiration. Now bring me back to that room and tell me what kind of impact did it have for you, but what kind of impact did you have in the room?
Yeah. I think there was a different flavor that was brought in, right? And not only a female in the room, but also a Latina. That was the first. And when Francine joined us, we had such a different type of power, right? It was powerful for the two of us to be in that room and really speak about being a woman, right? Being
perspective, right?
Exactly, a totally another perspective. And it was exciting, right? Because to me, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to really bring these conversations to the forefront. Right?
I love that you say that. It's another point of view. It's right. It's different, right? And I think in difference you find creativity. You find stresses, but that are stresses that create something out of you, right? Like if you walked in and it's the same thing every single day, you're going to condition yourself to a predictable future. But you step into the room and you change it. It's a whole nother dynamic, right?
Absolutely.
That's really, really cool. And now when you change the point of view, right? We're not saying just changing your position in the room. You're actually bringing ideas, right? And it's funny because there's a big idea out there about women. It's like, oh, well, they're too busy. And I'm talking women saying this to themselves, right? Yo estoy hablando de las mujeres hablando entre ellas mismas. Estamos hablando de otro punto de vista, como eso crea creatividad. las dificultades te hacen buscar soluciones. Yo estoy hablando de las mujeres. Las mujeres que están allá afuera, yo sé que ustedes pasan por estos, se hacen mamás, ya dicen que no tengo futuro en mi vida. Like, I'm a mom, I'm sorry, it's the child, I don't really have much time for all these other things. And I know this, right? Like, look, true confession of myself. I read women's magazines. I used to read them a lot more. And I wanted to get into women's heads. And I was like, why do women sell themselves so short? Mm-hmm. Like, I'd pick up Cosmopolitan magazine, Teen magazine. I love Vogue, was really cool. You know, and I'd also get a copy of GQ, right? Because I was like, what's in fashion? Mm-hmm. This is me when I was young because I wanted to figure out, how do women think? Mm-hmm. And this is something that happens with women. They get to a stage in life and they say, I really can't do this no more. Mm-hmm. But you're a mom.
Yeah.
And congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
My baby's 19 months.
Ah, yeah. Beautiful baby boy. That's number one. Now, you just became a mom. So, like, how did this create, like, a difference for you?
Yeah.
How did it make you be creative, basically?
It's a great question. I think that so much changes in life, right? When you become a parent, becoming a mom, right? Becoming a working mom, right? That was a whole other, we're entrepreneurs. We're women who are creating our practice, right? We're out there, we're networking, we're meeting new people, and it gets scary, right? With a baby coming in, and how much is this going to change? Am I going to have the time that I used to have? And I want to be a present mom, right? You want to make sure that I'm around as much as I can be. So it was learning a whole new balance, right? How do I figure this out? And luckily, right, I have my business partner here who made me realize we can do this, right? And I think that we draw from inspiration, right? Yeah. And we draw from inspiration from other women who've done it before us, right?
Now, how did your business partner make you feel like you can do this?
Because she was doing it, right?
She was doing it. Hey.
Yeah, she was doing it. So.
Listen, you know what, guys? They're two power moms here, okay? And you wouldn't think that unless you asked the question, right? Now, I asked you off the air, but now you've been doing it for a while, and you looking at her as for inspiration. Ella se encontró una inspiración en su colega,
yeah.
Right? Su socio. Y tú pasaste por esto, right? Mucho más antes. Tuviste tus niños, right? You had your children much earlier. So now tell me, how was it for you, especially at a time where there was no tech? Like, the tech wasn't that cool like it is today, right? So how did you do it?
To be honest with you, the power from that always came from wanting to do better, right? Wanting to do better for my family, and knowing that I also needed to be a provider too, right? Next to my husband, making sure that we were both working hard for the goals that we have.
Right,
so I think that's also important. And also give yourself that grace that, it's okay to have a career, and it gives me a purpose, because I feel like I don't want to speak for everyone, but as a woman, sometimes you lose yourself within that.
I know, because listen, I sometimes I'm telling you, when I read these magazines or when I read some blogs, I'm like, shut up. You're so much more. Why are you doing this to yourself? There's so much that you can accomplish. And I see that sometimes women, don't do it. And if they did, this would be it would be a different world.
Yeah.
Right? It's almost like you're holding back. Everybody's at Christmas. It's Secret Santa. Your name's up. They're picking it out of the hat. And you're like, nope, I don't want to give my gift.
That's true.
Like, that's not a cool Christmas, right? That's not a cool birthday. So, like, I really look at women like you, for example, that have done this. And I say, wow, like, tell these women out there that it's okay to be a mom, right? And it's okay to be successful.
Yeah.
Right?
And let's not, it's tough. There's a balance. It's not even a balance. It's a fusion of the two at this point.
Correct.
There's a fusion between the two. And
a management of the crazies.
Exactly. and then knowing that there's also a season for certain things, right?
Yeah.
There's a point where you're going to be a mommy more, and there's a season where you're going to be more of an entrepreneur. But yeah, I think that women need to, I don't want to say need to, but just give themselves that grace that it's okay.
That's okay, right?
And it's okay to do both. And I think the biggest thing is, and again, my business partner has been an instrumental piece to this, is that she's let me see that, I had a bigger purpose, and it wasn't about, Francine being this thing. Is more about Francine's purpose and Francine's light that she needs to give out. And if it wasn't for her support, I don't know if I would have been out there doing this.
This is beautiful. This is beautiful. And
we usually cry.
The microphone's waterproof. You'll be okay. Listen, this is beautiful. And guys, I'm gonna give you guys a message out there. Don't get in the way of your women. Facilitate, help. Okay, because, for example, I can't give birth to my child, right? I have 3 kids at home. I couldn't necessarily do it, but I was pretty good at washing the bottles. I was great. Like, nobody could get in the way of that. And I was great at setting things up so that, she can go ahead and do her play. So it's like, be Scottie Pippen for Michael Jordan. You hear me, guys? Give the assist. Make it happen. Because this is a team effort. Yeah. If you're together as a couple, it's a team effort. If you're not together as a couple, listen, single ladies, look for your network. And I really want to transition over to what we're about to talk about, which is what you two ladies have founded. And whichever one wants to jump in first, but this is phenomenal. Why don't you go ahead and say the name of it? Go ahead.
So we have Latina Business Network of New York, which is a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to educate, inspire, connect women with the purpose of giving back.
Wow. So what I'm saying right here, guys, it's who are you connecting with? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's not about how much money you have, right? It's what seeds are in your mind, what fruit is it, basically growing in your mind, right? Mm-hmm. So si planto la semilla en tu mente y crece una fruta, y es una fruta de que es las conexiones de la vida con tu vecino, con tu amigo. Puedes ser mamá soltera y tú puedes lograr lo que tengas que lograr. Sí. Y si tú estás casada, tu marido es una persona que te puede ayudar. Pero tengan esa conversación. No le tengan miedo. It's not a taboo. Eso es algo que pueden lograr. And this is something that the world needs. Mm-hmm. It needs women like that. So Latina Business Network of New York. Yes. And that is phenomenal. And there's a lot more to you guys. But I got to say, look, you guys can be part of an organization like that, and it's not about money getting you through a door. It really isn't about money getting you through a door or making it possible for you. You can make this happen for yourself. Now, tell me or tell the folks who are listening, how do people get involved?
It's a great question. So this was a baby idea, and I really should give the floor to Fran to talk a little bit more about it. But
so we give it to now?
Yeah.
All right, Francine, jump in.
You jump in, girl.
How did this happen?
Thank you, Gabby. And listen, this idea was born from having conversations with another professional Latina and saying, listen, I'm struggling where there is, connecting, networking. I'm doing great in my profession, but I feel something is left out. Or ultimately, what's my legacy? Because like you said, it's not about the money at the end of the day, because you don't take anything with you. You make it a little better with it, but, ultimately, what are you leaving behind? What
El legado, ¿qué es lo que deja?
Legado,
yes,
sí.
Right. Mm-hmm. And this is amazing because it's not like it's so ultra expensive to like join associations or even become friends with somebody, And girls like to just go over each other's houses to talk about all sorts of stuff. I think it's more expensive for guys because we're like, we got to go out. We need diversion, right? But the ladies, they're social all the time. Yeah. So it doesn't take money. No necesita dinero siempre para tú poder encontrarte con un buen ambiente de mujeres que lo están echando adelante. And Latina Business Network of New York is a great place. Congratulations on getting the nonprofit status.
Thank you.
And by the way, we were part of the event.
Yes, you were. Yes.
So it was a lot of fun to see all these women that have accomplished so much. So how could they reach out? Is there a website? Instagram, how do they do it?
So we do have a website. We have an Instagram. Please follow us, right? Latina Business Network. We put out a ton of information. We meet once a month. We do everything that we can, and any donations that we get, or sponsorships, it's all going back to the community.
Now, Latina Business Network of New York is super long, so I'm not sure if that's going to be
Labny.
Okay, LAB.
NNY.
Okay, LABNNY, LABNNY. So there you go, and that's .com.
.com.
Okay, .com. So LABNNY.com, LABNNY.com. So this is awesome. You guys can go ahead and get onto the website and sign up, donate?
Yeah, so either one. There's so many ways to get involved, right? Whether it's a sponsorship, whether it's membership, attending one of our events, right? Just connecting with other women, with other professionals. There's tons of ways that we're looking for support. We have committee members. We have a wonderful board full of lots of professionals right now.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Right.
So there's some really powerhouse women that are coming together, and we're always looking to connect with others.
Yeah, I think what's funny is that people say, oh, women, business, and so forth, and they just say, oh, beautiful women, and so forth. I think it's not about that. It's what they have inside. It's the purpose they have inside. It's the image and the world that they create and project out there. And you girls have created this amazing organization. So congratulations to that. And I just want to leave off with this, that money is not a thing. You guys can be part of something huge, connect with one another, and really change the world. So with that, guys, I'm going to go to a quick break with one of my favorite songs, Money Ain't a Thing. Let's go.
No te muevas. Regresamos en tan solo minutos. De regreso con Anthony from the Neighborhood.
That's right. Money ain't a thing. Y ahí regresamos desde esta canción and we started talking about networking, conectándote con tu comunidad y hablando con gente que en realidad van a tener un impacto en tu vida y sea un impacto que tú puedes traducir o pasar hacia adelante a tu otro vecino. And this is how you empower entire communities. That's why it's so good to be from the neighborhood, right? Got to plug it in. Shameless plug. All right. So now another thing about my guests, otra cosa sobre mis invitados, es que fueron personas que también fueron miembros de otra organización. And it's the Long Island Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Did I get that right?
Yeah,
that's correct.
All right, because this is pretty long. It's like Latina Business Network of New York. Now, listen, you guys are part of the Long Island Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. Talk to me about that. What is this thing, and what kind of impact did it have on you guys?
Yeah, so being part of another organization, and again, it takes a lot of, the right place to find the right organization, but
Right.
it just fit with what we were thinking too, and our efforts and our same synergies. And they've been really great in terms of support, guiding us, and now in our mission and our new things. So,
right.
Again, finding the right organization to support what you're doing, I think it's key.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then now we go full circle. You guys are members of them. You guys obviously have to report, like, this is what I'm doing with my business, this is what I'm doing with that, right? Because you all share. Uno, cuando está parte de estas organizaciones, uno comparte lo que es la historia de su negocio y los problemas y las soluciones que uno ha encontrado y uno va creciendo, right? Esto es como decir un grupo de masterminds, un grupo de cerebros, right? Compartiendo información. And you guys now are being recognized. You're being recognized for Entrepreneur of the Year, and congratulations on getting the award.
Thank you so much.
That's a big deal.
Yeah,
We're
thank
honored.
you. Yeah, we're humbled and honored about the opportunity.
Listen, I'm so glad you guys got this award. It was when you told me about it that you were going to get it and so forth. I was like, what? How does this whole thing? And now you got it. You've got your award. And this is for the year, right? Like, what do you whose office has this on their shelf? Did you get two of them?
So we actually share an office, so
We're good on that end, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So lo pusieron en la mesa del centro.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Así que tú la ves, yo la veo, tú la ves, yo la
We
veo.
get inspired, right? We look at it.
Felicidades en sacarse ese
Gracias.
reconocimiento.
Thank you very much.
And this is a really big deal. So cuéntanos un poquito. Tell us a little bit about, the journey to become Entrepreneur of the Year and be recognized by the Long Island Hispanic Chamber of Commerce.
Yeah.
¿Cómo llegó?
I think something that's really important to recognize is that it's not just us, right? I think it's a team effort, right? It's people who've supported us, especially with the chamber, right? If you don't know something, you ask, right? And people are willing to give you help and support. I think that's so important, right? If you're a small business or you have an idea, right, and you want to get out there, ask for support because people have done it first, right? And they're willing to give you some help. And so we're excited about this award. We were humbled and honored when we found out that we were getting this award of Entrepreneur of the Year, and we just really want people to feel inspired by it, right? Because if we can do it, right, we hope other people can do it too.
Yeah. Mujeres que llegaron aquí a este país o que nacieron de padres que llegaron acá pudieron lograr este sueño, no solamente de ganarse ese reconocimiento, pero sí están haciendo un impacto en su comunidad. Y esto es cosas positivas. And this is what we really want to see in life, right? We really want to see people having this kind of like path, right? Creating this sort of opening for others. That's great. I mean, now you're Entrepreneur of the Year, right? By the way, is it a nice trophy? Is it really nice?
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It looks
Gorgeous.
It looks really nice.
they're like the crystals. I don't know, but I'm assuming that you guys put it in a nice place in your office, right?
Absolutely.
It's
Full display.
Full display, making sure.
¿Dónde está localizada la oficina de ustedes? Where's your office?
So our office is, we have a home office, right? It's in Melville, and then we each also have a home office as well, right? And,
Okay.
So my home office is out in West Hampton, right?
All right.
I grew up in Sayville, okay? But my family has a furniture store in Bayshore. So
Oh my
I
God.
know all the neighborhoods around here, right?
Hold on. Francine, is that the same story with you?
Yeah, so I currently live in Massapequa, but I'm originally from Westbury, and my office is in Massapequa as well.
Oh my! So you okay? So we have 1, 2, 3. Was it like 6 neighborhoods?
Yeah, a
Pretty
lot.
much,
A
yeah.
lot.
Wow. All right. So we're gonna run through what my favorite part is since you ladies are from the neighborhood or hoods.
Many hoods.
Shout out what is really cool about any one of these places, because I love when people try to explore them and then see the kind of influence they had on you guys, which obviously looks very positive from where I'm sitting.
Yeah.
What's so good about these neighborhoods? When's it good to visit? And what's maybe your favorite shops?
Yeah, well, I have to shout out, right, a Bayshore Furniture and Mattress Warehouse, which is in Bayshore.
That's
my
your parents.
family's business,
That's mommy,
right?
daddy.
You're going to see mommy, daddy. You're going to meet my older brothers. It's a full family business,
Yeah.
right? So I love them, and you can tell them I sent you and say
All right.
hi, right?
All right.
But there's so many places to explore in all of these, and we love exploring new neighborhoods, right? And we love our neighborhoods.
Shout out your parents one more time. I want them to hear you.
Yeah, Bayshore Furniture and Mattress Warehouse. They've been there for 36 years.
Wow. Ya sabe, mami y papi. Ella le dijo a ustedes en el radio.
They didn't
lo
ask me to do
anunció.
that either. So.
No, but hey, listen, credits due, right? So
Right.
might as well tell them.
Absolutely.
So you have any favorites?
Well, I have to say there's two, again, going back to the faith. So St. Bridget in Westbury, and then Lady of Lourdes in Massapequa. I think those are beautiful organizations that are also doing some
St.
great
Bridget's?
work. Yeah.
There's one out here? I went to St. Bridget's in Brooklyn.
Well, I don't know if it's like another chapter, but I know that the one in Westbury has been there for a long time, and they're again, is just helping people in the community and doing great things, and that's where I got my clothes. It's St. Bridget's Church in Westbury.
Wait,
and the food.
Going back to the story, regresando a la historia de cuando tú necesitabas asistencia, ¿era de ahí?
Sí, ahí fue cuando me dieron mis primeros libros, mis primeros food, the food pantry, and they were fabulous, and they were so special and so helpful to my family.
Well, I'm glad you're giving them a shout out.
Yeah,
I'm glad
amazing.
The world goes around, so I'm glad you're giving them a shout out. So please do it one more time, nice and slow. I want people to know who supported you to get you where you are, and so they can support them.
Yeah, so St. Bridget's Church in Westbury.
All right, so if you're in Westbury, go ahead and knock on their doors. Any great places to eat? Any favorites?
So Westbury, my God, there's so many, but one of my favorites is there's a local little deli that used to make these bacon, egg, and cheese with salt and pepper. When I was in middle school, and I used to get those sandwiches. I mean, again, it just takes me back to that.
Bacon, egg, and cheese is a staple. I feel like everybody tells me, or bacon, lettuce, and tomatoes. Like it's always, they always got these like typical New York sandwiches, right? This is. Do you have a favorite?
It's so true. Oh my gosh, so many, right? I think where we grew up, Sable has a beautiful town, right? There's a ton of small businesses and small restaurants there. So anywhere local, right? Anywhere that we can support that's local, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you guys have if there's a thoroughfare or, you know, that main street, which one is it in Sayville that you would say, hey, I'm going to go down there because I need something to eat?
Yeah, there's so many. I mean, there's a Greek place called Asian Cafe. There's tons of restaurants around there.
Wow. Well, I mean, there's some good stuff. So one neighborhood you mentioned is the Hamptons. I don't know who said it.
Gabby.
She's like, Gabby. You said the Hamptons. Now, when I think Hamptons, I'm like, oh my God, it's so rich. I can't afford anything there. What can I do in the Hamptons? I mean, it has this perception of it, but is it really that?
No, it's not. I mean, it's a beautiful town. It's a beautiful community, right? And there's many different parts of it. But there's the beach, right? There's places to walk, beautiful neighborhoods, beautiful main streets, right? And they're all local businesses too, right? So it's not these big, huge, franchises or anything.
No big box stores.
No, not at all. So it's all local families who have these businesses. So definitely explore our neighborhoods, right? That's so much of what you're doing and bringing to light all these beautiful places that we can enjoy.
And there's a large Latino community out there too.
There is.
Oh, very, very much so.
Wow, look at that. You see, guys, hey, listen, people have a perception of different neighborhoods, and I've heard positive things of neighborhoods that otherwise were getting a negative press. And I'm like, look, you just don't know the people that are living there, so you don't know the neighborhood as good as they do. And you just brought a whole nother light to it. That is phenomenal. So Hamptons has a lot of Latinos.
A lot of Latinos. and they're doing great things too. So again, just get out there. Like you said, explore, find out.
Yes.
Who are your community members or who's doing some good things? Just
absolutely. With that, folks, I'm going to give you guys an invitation to go ahead and be part of the station. Any one of these small businesses, you're more than welcome to call us up and just find out about advertising on the station and get people aware of what's going on. That's what we do on this show. Guys, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. This has been a pleasure for me. I mean, señores, ustedes han recogido tanta información, tanta inspiración de estas dos mujeres para aprender y saber sobre tu vecindario, sobre tu carrera, sobre tu vida, muchísimas cosas. And I really had a great time with you too. So I myself also had to go back to the days I was reading magazines. So with that, guys, I got to say that we all come from different places with different experiences, and it's just a matter of us sharing them. And I can't wait to share with you guys many more experiences. So asegúrese de sintonizar sábados a las 11 de la mañana aquí en el programa From the Neighborhood, Saturdays at 11, From the Neighborhood, every single week here on Latino Mix. Until then, I'll be seeing you back in the neighborhood.
Desde la cabina más importante de Long Island, en New York, infórmate de lo que pasa en tu barrio. En 3, 2, 1, arrancamos. Anthony from the Neighborhood en Latino Mix. Dale play a tu bocina.